All right. Hello, everyone. How are you today? It's Kay. So this is the 25th of September on Saturday. So I hope you're having a great weekend right now. So since markets are closed today, on Sundays or Saturdays, I talk about something psychology and mindset, money management. So yeah, so just before the live stream starts, just about like 3 minutes before, I was actually revising the PDF and also adding some contents for today's talk. And I think it's going to be very interesting too today. It's about the habit, how to change the old habit, and why you cannot change old habit is today's topic. So let's get started. Just relax and enjoy the live stream as if you're at the cafe today. All right, so let me squeeze my face and start the session. So before starting here, just as usual, today's live stream is basically based on my own knowledge and experience. So when you decide to take trades, please do at your own risk. And also, since this is live stream live, if you can please follow the rules and guidelines on this live stream, that would be great. So let's see who's here first. All right, and once again, thank you for joining on this Saturday's live stream on the weekend. All right, Kel, good to see you too. Thank you for joining. You're welcome, Kel. Yeah, it's nice to see you always in this live stream here. And let's see, who else is here? Faiz is here. Thank you for joining, Faiz. Good to see you. And Resno, good to see you too. And Chayan, Roge, and Hanif. From what? Thank you for joining. Good to see you also. Right, it's nice to see everyone here. And Gabby, and Subash, Enji, and Kishore, and Ben, good to see you too. Oh, Ben, you saw that about the sunstorm? Yeah, I posted a video on my second channel about the sunstorm. It was very, very huge. Very huge sunstorm actually hit this building. And the building was not shaking, but I could hear the wind sound. And also outside was very windy. So, and dusty also. It's a little bit surprising weather the other day. Yeah, but I'm safe here now. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I'm so totally safe here. Yeah. Okay, and Crystal, thank you for joining also. Good to see you. Yeah, please have a coffee or tea and get ready to talk. Just relax and enjoy because most likely today we won't look at the charts. Maybe we will as samples, but not so much as usual. All right, and Hussein, good to see you too. Thank you for joining. And Minoru too, thank you for joining as well. See you. All right, so let's start. So today's topic is about the traps that prevents you from changing the old habits. So this is the research is actually done by the Harvard University, and the talk today is based on that research. And speaking of that old habits, like we have old habits and some of the character or the traits that you want to change, but you cannot change. Like so I will give you some examples about these habits and what prevents you from changing these habits. And eventually, towards the end of this live stream today, I will connect it to the Forex trades as well, so that you can kind of a sense of how to change your old trading habits too. So yeah, thank you for the reminder, Minoru. So if you liked this topic already, please press the like button before you leave. That would be great. So first of all, as usual, I took a vote from last week on YouTube The question was, do you feel it's difficult to change your trading habits? And that was simply yes or no question, because I wanted to just see the ratio between yes and no, these two questions, two choice. And yes is 73%, no is 27%. And it's just expected. I think it's difficult for everybody, almost everybody, change the trading habits. So for example, like like wrong trading habits examples would be like these. You might want to change when you trade by emotion. So maybe next time, when you trade emotionally this time, and let's say you lost it, the next time you try to eliminate or decrease the emotional stress and take trades. But you cannot change it. You can't help it. Next time, you might take trades by emotion, by drive the emotion, and you might lose again. So I think this is one of the most common criteria for the trades that you want to change for the most traders. Or sometimes you want to change the way to trade by the risking too big. So if the risk is too big, then you lose very quickly and you might lose in blue account. I have done it before, once and twice before. So the risk too big is harmful, but you know it. But on the other side, you might want to make profit as soon as possible, and you want to make profit as big as possible, and maybe overconfidence can drive you to risking too big and going for too bigger lot sizing, and you might lose over time very big. That will be very expensive lessons, but this habit you might want to change if you already done it before. Or exit too soon. So maybe you have experienced it before also, but once you exit, then the market goes upwards towards that direction or downwards. So you might regret, oh, I shouldn't have exited there. If I kept the position for until now, I will be making so and so pips. So exit too soon, you might want to change this habit also. Right? And also there are maybe two other trading habits that is considered to be wrong. One is don't follow a strategy. So once you open the chart and you see the big movements on the market, you see big spike up and just broke the resistance level, and without following your strategy, this is also kind of related to the emotion, but by emotional drive, just because the market spikes up and breaks the resistance, you jump in and buy. You don't follow that strategy. You don't confirm the confirmations, and the market might reverse. So maybe you have experienced this before also, and that's why I picked this one as one of the typical wrong trading habits. And also, you don't make trading decisions by yourself. Maybe you are trading by copy trade or signal trade, or just because somebody else says to buy, you buy it and the market reverses backwards. So I think this is also the trading habits that you want to avoid. You have to make your decision, and you have to have reasons to make decisions, to put it into actions. So without reasons, you don't trade is the basics. So yeah, please, even if you follow someone, always it's you that have to make decision after all. And I think there are more wrong trading habits. You might be holding positions over the weekend, and on Monday open, there's a gap in between and you might lose. So if you keep trading that way, you might want to change it. Or let's see, you are a swing trader, but sometimes when the market is ranging and you can help it and you just scalp, and you might lose over time too. So I think that's also related to the don't follow strategy also. But yeah, I think there are many other wrong trading habits in general. But What I mean by that is, it's kind of difficult to change. Although you know in your brain that to change these habits, sometimes it's difficult for some reason. And actually, that is the main topic for today. And so here's my question to everybody. If you are in front of the mobile or the PC, please type the answer. And why do you think it's difficult to change your habit? Why do you think it's difficult to change your habit? You have to change, and it can harm your wallet, your bank account, but it can help to keep doing the same mistakes over and over again. And why people can't really change the habits so quickly or so easily is today's topic. So if you have an idea, please type it on the chat right now. I will pause. I will just wait maybe a couple of minutes and move on to talk. In the meantime, let me say hi again to everyone. All right, I see Saman here. Thank you for joining. Good to see you. And Sikhar, good to see you too. All right, Spencer, thank you for joining too. So this is Saturday, the 25th of September, and this is about the psychology. Because I have a psychological background, and sometimes I research on internet about these previous researches and articles, and actually that's one of my hobbies, so to speak. I kind of like to see the previous papers and also researches, and sometimes it gives me some inspirations. And also it helps in my trades also psychologically. So why? Why do you think it's difficult to change your own trading habits? Please let me know on the chat right now if you're in front of PC or mobile before I move on. Right? Muhammad, thank you for joining as well. Good to see you here. Let's see. Roger says, man, I did all of these wrong trading habits back during my early days. Load 2 accounts as a result. Yeah, that's true. Actually, these are mine too in the past. I used to do these always. And not only just risking too big, but also I didn't put the stop loss. Well, actually, it's gonna shame myself, but I never knew about the stop loss before. What is stop loss? And what is position sizing? If the market goes your direction, then that's it, right? You just make profits and just exit profits. No stop loss. You don't need it. That was my mindset. That was the big lesson. Very expensive lesson paid for this university of risking too big. Okay. All right. Good to see you, Dalek. Chan, good to see you. Lorenz, Edge, good to see you too. All right. NG says impatience. Yeah, impatience will be one of the reasons why it's difficult to change the habit. Although it's wrong in your brain. Yeah. So yeah, what else is there? Let's see. Traderman says, I'm 58 and older people have a much harder time changing habits, sadly. Yeah, well, actually, that is actually proved on the research also. As you get older, it will become more difficult to change habits. Yeah, but nothing's too late. You can change right now still. Because if you understand the reason why it's difficult to change, then you can find a way to change it. Yeah, if you don't know the reason, then you can't do anything else. It's the same as tradings. If you don't know the reason to buy or sell, then you can't trade. That's the same. All right, let's see. Good to see you, everyone. Okay, I see these comments now. So let's see. Florence says, fear of to be in the wrong path again. Okay. So, so that's like going on and on in a circle, and it just bugs in your brain. That's understandable. All right, Kel says, exactly after a long week of following the strategy, just because of the greed, I lost all my profits on the week. very sad, but definitely have to let go of greed, and because it makes me emotional revenge. Yeah, never take trades in a way to win back the losses. Never ever do that. You can win back the losses naturally by following a strategy, is the correct mindset. But if you trade to win back the losses, then that will be wrong. I mean, if you can win back the loss, actually, then it's okay. But if the problem comes when you lose more. When you lose more, then you get more stress, and you can't control yourself. All right, Roger says, I believe it's hard to change your habit because there's no way for you to know whether the new habit will work better than your old habit. Okay. But you know that there are wrong habits and you want to change it. So, but yeah, without knowing or unconsciously, a couple of days later, you might be back to the old habits, routines. Okay, chances can control our mind. Okay, yeah. Controlling mind is, yeah, it's also, it's impossible to do. Okay, Liver says programming from a young age. Okay. Luke says, I always take a rest once my take profit is hit. That's good. That's good. You can leave the charts. Edwin says, not believing in yourself can be self-sabotage. Okay. The belief in yourself is also important, but the belief doesn't come in one day. It should become over time to build the belief in yourself. Yeah, and that should be based on the experience. Right? Roger says, I used to consider stop loss is a sign of weakness. I was naive. Yeah, that's right. Sign of weakness. So like, yeah, I understand exactly what you say. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, I do see many more comments. Thank you for the comments. So yeah, but let me move on. Let me move on the topic for now. Oh, let me pick up, sorry, a couple of more comments here now. We don't follow strategy because we don't truly understand it, okay? Doing panic. Hussein says, never change my trading strategy for risk reward 25 pips profit, 50 pips my lot size. It's fixed is 500k per lot, which is 10% of my capital. I have never risked all my capital. That's good. That's good. Never risk too big. Yeah, always risk. I recommend 2% a trade. Alexander says impatient and FOMO. Okay, impatience. Yeah, will be why we keep the wrong trading habit. Although we know that in your brain. Okay, Crystal says maybe it's hard to change habit because made decision to have it is a subconscious reason, just did it out of survival needs based on avoiding pain or fear. That's true. So it's like FOMO, or fear of pain, fear of yeah, like a fear of these losses. To avoid that, unconsciously, yeah, we made wrong decisions. That is true. So yeah, definitely it's derived from the psychology somewhere. And so here's the topic. So let me tell the answer based on the research. And this is about the psychology. It's not about the pure trading, but because I have a psychological background, I want to talk about this on every Saturdays like this. So the main reason a man cannot really change the old habit is because in nature, we resist to a change unconsciously. So this is, basically the state from the textbook. But what it means really is that, we resist to the change in nature. So we like to be the same. We like to be the same place and same time. We like to be doing the same thing over and over again. And that's actually built in our gene and brain in nature. And when you try to change, you resist psychologically, unconsciously. So let me get to it more deeper level. So this is actually the research at the Harvard University by Ellen Langer. She's a very famous psychologist, and I read a couple of books of her. And if you haven't read it yet, please do. I think it's very important. So here's Amazon. If you can search Ellen Langer, you can find many books like mindfulness and also a couple of other nice books of her. And she's a psychologist, Ellen Langer. And today's topic is basically based on her research. So coming back to this topic, why you cannot change. So she made a research, and what she did was, so she took a group, and so she made step 2. So step 1, she asked them to pick a positive characteristic that you feel confident in yourself. That means, so there's a list of the strengths, like positive strengths, like honest, I'm honest, or I'm a hard worker, I keep promise, I am good at something to do for a long time, or I keep time, I don't tell a lie. Like these positive or the strengths, what we call strengths. She made a list and asked the group to pick which one is you. So that's the first step. Okay, so today's research is a bit complicated, so please listen carefully. So the first step, you pick that you think it's the strengths in yourself. Okay. So let's say in trading, if you can wait for the trading edge, then that will be categorized as a strengths. Or if you have the risk management skill, then that will be the strengths also. As a positive or the strengths of the characteristic you pick. And you save that paper and move on to the step 2. Step 2 is pick the negative characteristic that you want to change in yourself, which is typically called weakness in yourself. So for example, stubborn, I'm stubborn, I can't accept others' opinion, for example, or I listen to others too much and I don't have my opinion, which will be categorized as a weakness sometimes, and also always be late on something, etc. So you will get another piece of paper with a list of these weaknesses or negative characteristics, and you mark which one you want to change. Okay? And the result is very interesting. The result shows that the negative personality that is opposite from positive personality is difficult to change. And this is what the research showed actually. So once again, let's say you pick the negative personality that is difficult to change, from opposite, from the positive personality, is the one that you feel that is difficult to change. Okay, so for example, let's say you mark that you have the strong will. You have the willpower, for example. You mark it, and also on the negative personality that you want to change, you pick your stubborn. Or you don't listen to others. Let's say you mark this, and these are the traits that you feel that it's very difficult to change. And that's actually what the research shows. So far, so good. So I will give you some more examples. So for example, let's say as a strength, let's say you mark, I'm good at relaxing. I'm a relaxed person, let's say. You mark it. And on the negative side, you mark, I tend to postpone things. Then this weakness or this say old habit that you postpone things, you tend to postpone things, will be difficult to change. Right? So there are always, two sides in the coin. And when it's two sides in the coin, then on the weakness, it becomes difficult to change. And also, I give you more examples here. So let's say you mark consistency is your strength, and you find flexibility will be the weakness, which is difficult to change. And also, let's say you trust others, and you also check if you doubt others, then doubting others might be difficult to change because they are opposite. Okay? And also, if you say you're sensitive to others, so let's say you are very kind and you tend to think about others and see their faces, how they think and how they feel about around. If you're sensitive to others, then that means, and let's say in the negative side, on the weakness you want to improve, let's say you blame yourself, and then blaming yourself becomes difficult to change because you marked on opposite personality, like a mirror. So that means, right? So once again, the negative personality that is opposite from the positive personality is the one that is difficult to change, is actually shown by this research. And that is actually because of the fear of losing the positive side of you. So solution is that you have to separate these personalities. So the strengths and weaknesses, everybody has strengths and everybody has weakness. No one's perfect in this, universe. So you have to separate these traits. And for example, myself, in my case, I used to think that my weakness is, I can't really keep time. It was actually my big challenge when I was in Japan, because as you may know, in Japan, everything should be on time. If you're late, then you're in trouble. So my weakness, I thought, was I can't keep time, and also I cannot be on time. For example, when the boss says to submit the paper tomorrow, then sometimes I couldn't do it because I was focusing on something else, and I was on different projects, or I simply didn't keep time to do it. So back then, my weakness was I cannot keep time. And still nowadays, sometimes I feel that my weakness is to keeping time on time. But in terms of my strengths, I think myself as I'm good at relaxing at any place. So when I was in Japan, when I had only 5 minutes of time, I could separate from the world and I can relax myself and come back to the work. I was able to do it. So I'm good at resetting myself and relax in a very short time, and also away from the stress. So that was my strengths. So I can work, of course, long hours, full time, but if you can give me only 5 minutes or 10 minutes break, then I can keep on working. So that was my strengths. However, once again, my weakness was I couldn't keep time. I thought I'm always late and I can't do tasks on time, which was also, I think, was a weakness. But now what I think about myself is that I keep time while being free from stress. So, and that's because I separate these two traits on strengths and weakness. So, if my weakness still, I think, is, I can't keep time, then of course, even if I I'm in Dubai, it always bugs me, and I can't be, relaxed basically. But on the other side, I'm the type of person who wants to relax and who wants to enjoy life with this relaxed moment. So I separate these traits and then mix it together. And here I am now in Dubai. So every day I do the live streams or video sessions at 2 p.m. UTC on this YouTube channel. And I can do it. I can keep on doing it because I'm relaxed. And why I'm relaxed, I do the live streams every day, or I do the teachings every week, or I do the trades every day. So I kind of mixed it together, and I'm so relaxed right now. And so sometimes you see myself on the YouTube, sometimes I do live streams, sometimes will be recorded video. But I make sure to upload either video or the live stream on my YouTube channel every day, and that will be on time. That part will be on time, but on the relaxed part, I can do the live stream or the video session every day. So that means, I can still keep time, but I'm kind of free from stress in that way. So let's get back to the topic about the trades. So let's say your weakness is traded by the emotion, for example. So let's say you trade by the revenge trade, or let's say you lose money today and you try to win back the loss and trade emotionally, for example. And then what you can think in your mind is that, first of all, you are an emotional person. You have to first admit and realize that you're an emotional person. So that means you can trade when you are in a good mood, right? So only trade when you're in a good mood should be your strategy, one of your rules on your trades. In that way, you can kind of hybrid and mix it, and when you're feeling bad, then simply stay away, so that you can change this kind of old habit of trade by emotion over time as it goes on. See? So, there are always two sides of the coin, and we tend to look at only the bad side when it comes to changing our habit. But if you also see the positive side and make it as a rule, then you can keep on doing it. Then I think this is one of the good examples for that. And the next one. So next one is risking too big. So if you think you're risking too big lot sizing every time, and you lose too big every time you trade, then you can think that you can take some risk, right? You are the risk taker. You're not afraid of taking risk. And that's why you can go for bigger lot sizing, right? And that is important, right? Sometimes that is important. We can't be always conservative on the trades. When the chance is there, you have to get it by the strategy and rules. But sometimes, opposite from this, sometimes for the traders, they can't risk too much. And as a result, they can't run profits over time as big as in average. So if you have experience of risking too big, that means you can risk, right? You can take some risk. So you can rephrase it to like bigger lot sizing with risk management skills. You can master it and make it as a rule and take trades continuously. Because if you learn about the risk management skills, although you go for the bigger lot sizing, you're good. You're good. So there are two ways, or a couple ways actually, a couple ways to increase the lot sizing, one is you have bigger account. If you have bigger account, with a 2%, you can go for bigger lot sizing. So let's say if you have a $1,000 account, and if you risk only 2%, that will be $20. Every time you take trades, you only risk $20. But if you have $10,000, then every position you take will be $200 with the same risk percentage as 2%. So the bigger the account, the more you can take for the bigger lot sizing. And that's one. And this is also the risk management, right? We only focus on the ratio, not how much you win, how much you lose. It's not really important in tradings. And the second way is to minimize the stop loss, because risk calculation should be done based on the stop loss pips. So let's say when you take 2 pips, the stop loss, and when you take 20 pips of stop loss, that will be twice difference. So that means you can go for twice bigger lot sizing when you take 10 pips of stop loss as compared to 20 pips of stop loss. In that way, you can increase the lot sizing by putting tighter stop loss but with the same risk percentage. So like this, these are just two of the examples, but these risk management skills are important so that in the future, when you go for bigger lot sizing, you're not afraid and you don't lose that much. And more importantly, you can take risk, and that is important. That is also important skill, or important, in Japan we say gut. You have a gut to do it. So that's important, right, in tradings. And the third one was exit too soon. Let's say you think exit too soon is the trading habit. So every time you exit, that will be too soon and the market goes up towards that direction and you lose these pips to gain. And if you want to change it, then you can rephrase it like this. So you are a very conservative person, right? You exit too soon, so that means you want to fix the profit as soon as possible. Even if it's few pips, you fix it and keep on trading that way. That means you can build low risk and low return strategies, right? So if you think like this, every traits or every habit will be positive side of you, and you can build strategies like this on your own way. So low risk and low return strategy, but you can be a scalper, for example, and you can increase the number of trades in that way, and you can make profits per day or per week in this way. So in this case, you don't really focus on the risk-reward ratio, but you focus more on the win rate and number of trades if you are a very conservative type of personality. So once again, today's topic was about traps that prevents you from changing the old habit. And the reason is because the negative personality, that is opposite from the positive personality, is difficult to change. And unconsciously, we do it over and over again. And that is why I recommend everybody to take a journal and write about emotion. When you take a trade, and especially when you exit with a loss or win, put down your emotion by words, by sentences, and every month end you look back. You look back this journal and trace your emotional states. And if there is a way to improve, then remember this word, always negative personality. That is opposite from positive is difficult to change. So after you review these traits and emotional impressions, then you think about your positive, your strengths in your mind, and compare if one of these losses or one of these stresses are actually opposite from your strengths or your positive personality. And then most likely that will be difficult to change, and you can rephrase it like this, like I reviewed on the last slide, and you can actually create a new strategy on your own, which is the most important part on these trades. This is a bit difficult topic, so if you can understand, please watch this over and over again, because this is very important. It's like talking to yourself. So yeah. But I also trade, and I also take journal. Every time I take trades, I put these confirmations, and I put these, what I found on the market. And every time I look back, I remember my trades at that time. And also I can look back my emotional impressions too. So these impressions change when you win or lose, or when you have a big day, or when you have stress in your life. The impression towards the result actually changes also. And that's why it's important to really see yourself in this way. And this is not from textbook. So you can be inspired by these textbooks and also these talks and these stories. But at the same time, it's always important to listen to yourself and also look back your own emotional states. Yeah, so that was the topic for today. So from here, for the next 10 minutes or so, let me come back to some comments, and let's just give some free discussions for now. So yeah, this is Saturday, and every Saturdays I talk about these psychology topics from the researches on universities because it's proven, and I prefer to talk about the psychological management by some researches proven, so that it can be more practical and also persuasive when it comes to emotional or these psychology. I can of course talk about based on my experience, but it's more subjective because everybody's different. So me and yourself will be feeling a bit different, although we see the same chart and same trades. And that's why sometimes these objective researches and also papers are important too, because it's a norm, and it applies most likely to majority of the people. All right, so yeah, let's see. Let me come back to some chats now. Aguat says, I think it's a matter of comfort zone and fear of trying something new, even if you know it's good for you. Yeah, fear of trying something new is exactly the topic for today. That's true. Victor says, hi Kay, I faced all of these habits back in time and lost big. That's why I'm studying hard to trade in the right way. Yeah, that is true. So once you know about the market, once you know about the strategies, then I think it's time for you to focus on yourself, focus on your emotion, psychology. But without these psychologies, strategies or the rules and indicators will be a bit meaningless. So yeah, I think everything's important. Also, risk management is of course important. So in the previous live stream or I think it was a video session on my YouTube channel about the risk management, I talked about these 3 important criteria in the tradings. So I say 3M, which is mental and money management, and also mind. Mind and money management and method. Sorry, these 3M is important. And so it's like driving a car. When you drive a car, then risk management would be like you have to put the seat belt and you grab the handle on your 2 arms, 2 hands, and you know how to operate these brakes and gas and everything else. So this is risk management. You look around the cars and you turn the wheel. That's risk management. And strategy is like how to get that point, how to get the destination. So you watch the map and you turn right to that corner and turn left there and be in the highway and get off from this exit and go straight to the left, and you get there. So this is strategy part, which is presented by the Ichimoku or multiple time frames, candlesticks. So that's to get to the destination. But without knowing the risk management, you can't really get to the destination. Right? So if you don't know how to drive the car, how to accelerate, how to put brake, you can't drive it. And also psychology, mind psychology kicks in, and when you're tired, you might be sleeping on the highway and you might get accident. Or when you are stressed, then you can't really be normal, and you might be in trouble and get accident too before reaching to the destination. So yeah, it's like driving a car, exactly the same. I was actually talking about that also on the GTS today, and I think it's the same. So in that sense, Forex or any tradings is not gambling. If you know how to operate and how to risk management and psychological management, it's not the gambling. If it is, then I think car driving is also gambling too. And the better part for the Forex trades is that you don't risk your life, whereas the car driving, you risk your life. And I think that's more risky in that sense. But the analogy is the same. So, and I think it's for the lifetime. So it's the lifetime skill. Once you obtain, you never lose, and no one can take it. So it's very, very important. Okay, so let's see. Let me come back to some comments now here. Thank you for everyone, your comments. I see many comments here, and let's see. Let me pick some of the comments here. Iran says, Sensei K, I seem to always find fault with my environment or gadgets. I see my colleagues trade well and I feel I'm not good. So that means, first of all, you have to practice and you have to see the result yourself. Yeah, without knowing your performance, we can't really talk about what to improve. But yeah, and the confidence comes over time. So I think that's very important. All right, let's see. Elaine says, what is your win rate? My win rate is about 35 to 40%. And my profit factor is above 3. So, and I don't really care about the win rate. Yeah, if it's 50, then that is very good. Tan says, how to stay disciplined to be consistent. How to stay disciplined to be consistent. So discipline comes from the habit also. So if you can't stay disciplined, then first maybe you can bring the post-it and write the things you have to keep in mind and post it on the frame of the screens. And every time you take trades, read these post-its or these memos, and so that it can be unconscious. to discipline. So it's like, so if I ask you, how do you stay disciplined to brush your teeth every morning? And what would you answer? It's my routine, right? So it's the same. If it becomes routine, then it's already discipline yourself. All right, let's see what else we got here. Thanks for the comments. I'm just covering one by one now. Sure, you're welcome everyone, you're welcome. And thank you for the reminder as always. So if you liked it, please press the like button if you leave. And I do these live streams and video sessions every day on my YouTube channel. So if you're new to my channel, please subscribe and click the bell notification so that you get notified as I do these live streams or videos every day. Yeah, and these topics, like psychology, I can just talk and talk, and I can just keep going on and on because, you know, there are actually more and more that I want to talk about. But so in these Saturdays would be like this. I break it down into different topics and talk about one thing at a time. Okay, so I guess I will be ending the live stream for now. So thank you for joining everyone once again. And I hope you have a great weekend. So tomorrow I will be doing the forecast, weekly forecast. I will cover 21 pairs on my watch list. And also I will cover gold and WTI oil and indices and review the news for next week. So I will see you tomorrow. And also before that, there will be a Ichimoku membership live stream afterwards in about 5 minutes. So for those who are Ichimoku members, please come to Discord and click on the announcement so that you get the link to join the membership live afterwards. So once again, thank you for joining and have a great weekend. And until I see you next time, please stay healthy, stay safe, and stay gold. All right? Bye for now. Mata ne. Thank you.